All right, click the links to join the channel here over at SubScribeStar. So Stellar Blade Censorship explained. Basically, Soyboys get mad when normal guys get what they want. Get ready for a passive-aggressive, just really lame soy article written by what I suspect is a total bleeding pussy. So the soy boy energy is kind of a lot of this is kind of trying to figure out why are they so upset about other people demanding something of a billion-dollar company. Its energy is the angry emo kids who hate sports but were forced to play, but then they're simultaneously resentful that they're also picked last. Like none of it makes sense, but it's just that's kind of the energy I think they're coming from. So this is the Soy Boys trying to assert control where they can. It's kind of revenge of the dorks, not nerds, because unfortunately both sides are nerds. I mean, you're talking about video games. So these soy boys are defending this billion-dollar way to insult the audience. I know, but really, it's like you're an adult playing video games. Like, come on, that's not a cool thing. So these soy boys are defending billion-dollar companies simply because the wrong people are complaining. And it's not exactly them not getting what they want because I don't think they care about the minor design changes either way. It's that the Chads are daring to speak up against the master, which in this case is, multi-billion-dollar video game companies. And they did this recently with, what was it, the Sonic redesign? It was some animation. They redesigned the animation. And these left-wing Twitter virtue signaling types lost their freaking mind, and they kind of framed it like, oh, these people are getting forced back to the office as if you work in an office anymore, and under bayonet point, and they're design and they have to like do this for free or something. It's like they just brought in some designers and paid them well and had them take a couple of days and change the animation. It's not that big a deal, and they got paid very well for it. What exactly is the problem? The problem is that, in their mind, the right-wing guys, except they're not. This isn't really a right-wing thing, because they show a bunch of these images of the guys who are making videos complaining. And if I had to guess, they're not right-wing guys, because two of them are black, and one's Middle Eastern, the other one might be Middle Eastern too. It's just there's nothing about them that screams right-wing. So it's weird. It's like I'm not exactly sure what the binary is between the corporate globalist left-wing kids versus a bunch of people they might still be on the left, but they're not on the politically correct left. It's this new weird corporate globalist left wing where you find these SJWs. I don't know if you can hear the dog's nails in the background. She's looking for something more interesting to eat. These SJWs defending BlackRock, Disney, Warner Brothers, the banks, and payment processors, where they're raging against the machine by working with the FBI to track down the peaceful J6 protesters. And they don't realize that the left wing has become the machine. They have been brainwashed to agree with Larry Fink and Soros and whatever on every single issue. And they have their tattoos and their piercings, but they're NPCs. Everything they do is safe edgy, and that's what the Seinfeld Larry David thing bothered them about so much, where even Seinfeld and Larry David were saying things in Hollywood have gone too far left wing, and now they attack Seinfeld as being a Nazi. It's all so tiresome. And then they were trying to say like, well, there's funny things on TV today, and they mentioned shows that have been grandfathered in, like South Park and It's Always Sunny, and it's like those shows aren't funny anymore. Anyway, so these kids lack the self-awareness to wonder how they went from like Occupy Wall Street to protecting Wall Street interests. The left wing went from smoking weed in a circle and talking about arts and crafts together to being alone in their room watching Netflix and Amazon on their tablet. It's fucking bizarre. It's kind of scary to see how people have become so isolated in these parasocial relationships with video games. And like Wu-Flu just turned that up to 11 because even before Wu-Flu, people were already way, way too isolated. That's why I don't have any love for video games or streaming shows. Like when I hear an adult say they're hooked on some streaming show, I look at them and like, no, dude, that's just the modern day soy slop, the mental soy slop, the bread and circuses while everything burns around you. Or how the left is 100% on board raging for the machine, and none of them seem to see how they've been subverted to be useful idiots for this media, government, corporate machine that all seems to work together. It's Gamergate and Comicsgate all kind of wrapped up where the wrong people are complaining about something. And I gotta admit that this is a little bit surprising because, like I said, the four examples they use for the anti woke crowd were mostly non-white people. So this is a bit of a different kind of battleground because the games, the movies, the comics are propaganda. The left knows this and they're willing to fight for it, and the right just kind of sits back and let things happen because they've been brainwashed into thinking that they're not allowed to speak up for what they want. And there's another issue of these bullshit parasites where they hate beauty, they hate history and elegance. And I know there's a deeper issue to that. The history thing, I understand. That's kind of a different video. But a lot of these people are just kind of fat, ugly, schlubby people who, I don't know if it's sunk cost investment. Don't get me wrong, there's plenty of fat, schlubby people on the right as well, but we kind of know it, and we don't want to bring people down to our level. Say, oh no, we don't have that sunk cost investment. Go out and eat right and exercise, and like, yes, we can admit this food is poison, and we can admit there's no health at every size. Obesity is dangerous. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference between the left and the right. It's like the left wants to make everything just obscene, and I mean, there's a long history of that, like with the modern art thing. Devin Stack on Odyssey does a bunch of videos on that kind of stuff. It's the left wing doesn't want to improve or has to live in this bizarre dream world where the fat acceptance movement was they tried to make that a thing for like a few years, and it just never took off because the people who were promoting it were all dying of heart disease and stroke. They died a lot of suddenly. Anyway, it's the whole concept of Bolsheviks where they want to teach, art classes and they think the food will magically show up on the table. I just want to work on my farm. Your farm, comrade? Anyway, you can just tell people that you want beautiful things, that women are sex objects, and that's a good thing, and they should be sexy and skinny with, megalarpalus features. And when the fat SJWs spurg out, pretend not to understand. Hashtag no fatties. A fun passive aggressive thing you can do to kind of troll the left wing. You got to do it all with a straight face. Is look at a character, whether it's a comic, animation, video game, movie, Hollywood, whatever, and go, "Ooh, yikes! She needs to cut the carbs." But just do it to the women. Don't do it to the men. And they will you will pull these people out of the woodwork, and they just will lose their freaking minds. It's so much fun to do it. Anyway, censorship is for sticks, bundles, and they made it a game. If it's marketed to look a certain way, as Sweet Baby is also involved. God, that is like that's like, when is Sweet Baby and the Kotaku just going to go away? The thing is, if they marketed the game a certain way and they said that, these costumes, there are minor differences in the costumes. It's not a big deal either way. But if they market it a certain way, it's like, well, that's what you signed up for. And then they go, this is going to be uncensored for the international markets or something. And then they changed it. Well, that, nobody wants that. It's like, just leave it alone or give people the option in the game design. It shouldn't be a big deal. Anyway, the left wing is the first to make fun of these guys. They show these dudes. I'm gonna show you their images because it's kind of weird. Oh, the petition website. Okay, hold on. They show these dudes. Oops. They show these four dudes. I hope this doesn't play the audio. And these guys were talking about the petition. They're on some petition website to have the uncensored version. So this dude's obviously black. This dude's Middle Eastern. This dude's black too. And this dude, I don't know what he is. I paused my game. Cute t-shirt. But these are the dudes that they're showing you who are complaining about the game, and this triggers all these unbelievable passive aggressive people where suddenly it's okay to make fun of, because they're all a little bit chubby, right? Which is like, hey, welcome to America. But suddenly it's okay to make fun of the guy's appearances because they, like everyone else in America, are fat butterballs. It's like, well, welcome to the West. Really, it's not just America. It's like Mexico, fat too, and like a lot of the Middle East is fat because they have a fascination with American fast food. It's like you took the worst McDonald's and that became a hit over in like the United Arab Emirates, and so they go out to McDonald's and it's like they're throwing 300 pounds. So the only shocking thing is that the guys who were against the censorship aren't white nerds, and that kind of threw me for a loop. And the left wing is still going after them, making fun of their appearances and like, oh, they're I wouldn't date them, or I don't know, I'm an attractive woman, and they don't I don't know, they don't meet my approval. It's like everything for them is like what is like viewed through the lens of women as sex objects. I was like, based, I have no problem doing that as well, but the left then denies it, and or they use gay as a pejorative all the time. Like, hey, so do I. So do a lot of people. I mean, we use it humorously as a pejorative, I think, but the left wing will use it, and you go, wait a minute. But when I use it, I'm not being hypocritical. I just don't care, or I mean it in a nice way. But the left wing uses it as a pejorative, and they're being hypocritical about it. It's friggin' bizarre. Anyway, if you're told a game has one design feature and the company changes it, well, you're well within your rights to complain about it. So the design changes are pretty minor, but it's like it's also not a big deal either way. It's the one on the left is a high cut a swimsuit and a low cut top, which is pretty standard video game design. And then the one up right hand corner is you can see they lowered it, and I mean, it's just like very simple video editing, but it's also simple to go into a video game when you select the characters and go, oh, I want this bathing suit design for the character. I don't know what you call that, high cut, high waisted, something in the low cut top, because it's like it's a video game. They're supposed to be like beautiful things, and that's another thing the left is really like the thing about like how to get people out of the left is get them on a diet and exercise, and when they drop 20 pounds of fat and gain some muscle and be able to go up 3 flights of stairs without puking on themselves, they're not going to be on the left anymore. They're going to move to the right. That's a harsh reality. Anyway, you signed up for something like this, and like I say, it's like this is not the time to be playing video games. It's all just kind of consumer bred in circuses. And if you got time to play a video game, you go back and read one of those smart books that you went through in high school, Moby Dick or something. I mean the classics or whatever. Or get like an Aristotle survey course and run through it. It's just form a militia, whatever. I mean, you could sell the video game and all the console and the games, and get another Liberty device and freedom pellets, and there's just other things to get involved with, and like mindlessly sit and play a video game or watch some Amazon streaming show and never insult the audience. I mean, it's better to have people be honest. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys maybe all next episode.